Hello, everybody. Welcome to I'm Going to Tell You. I'm Donovan,
And I'm Gina.
and on this episode, we are going to be talking about episode 8 of Survivor. So, this comes off of the episode where Dee got sent home and went on to the jury. So, afterwards, Tiffany and Coach had a convo about Dee, and they were talking, and Coach told Tiffany that he wasn't the one that initiated the hit on Tiffany and Dee. And then when Tiffany asked him who did, he said nothing. And Mom, how do you feel about that? How do you think Coach could have handled that better?
You could definitely tell that he was caught off guard. He's not well, he is a good liar, but at that moment he wasn't. So um, I didn't really have many thoughts on that. I just thought it was pretty funny that he was caught and he didn't have a good comeback. Typically, better players always have something in their back pocket, like they have a couple different scenarios in their head on what they're going to say if they're being asked specific questions because they're always lying. So they should have actually more than one lie in their arsenal.
Yeah, he definitely could have played it better. He should always have a plan B, C, D, whatever. I feel like he definitely could have handled that better. And pretty sloppy for someone like Coach, who's been on Survivor for like what, 4 seasons now? Season 18, season 20, season 23, and now season 50. You would think that he would know how to like how to lie like precisely at this point, but he just
Yeah.
didn't. But on to the challenge, which is actually an interesting one. For this one, you have to like pair up with somebody else, and you actually get to pick the teams. And the teams are as follows: Tiffany and Joe, Coach and Chrissy, Ozzy and Stephanie, Rizzo and Emily, Aubrey and Rick Devins, and Jonathan and Christian Hubicki. And right off the bat, I see Ozzy and Stephanie. And I just, ooh, that is definitely a duo. And I liked it. I liked most of the teams because if anybody watched it, whoever, whoever is going home tonight is going to be two people, and they're going to be like in the pairs that they did for the challenge. So I think we all knew who we all wanted gone. And I loved the challenge actually. I loved it. I didn't understand like what was going on at first, like with having to maneuver things, building a bridge, and then it was more of a tournament style because they had to, like get past the first half, and then for the second half they had to like maneuver this ball around this puzzle thing or like maze. And when I was watching it, Tiffany and Joe, it was between Tiffany and Joe, Ozzy and Stephanie, and Aubrey and Rick. And Tiffany and Joe, I thought they were just out of it. I thought they were going to come in dead last. I didn't know what was going to happen, but they just stuck right with it till the end. And they pulled off the upset, and I loved it. I loved seeing Tiffany win and be safe and literally determine who goes home tonight. But how did you feel about it, Mom? Do you agree? Do you think that it was good?
I loved this challenge. It was probably one of the best challenges I've seen so far. I loved it. The pairs were good. Of course, I was rooting for Tiffany and Joe. So it was pretty nerve wracking. And sometimes I kind of tune out when they're doing the challenges because they're so long. This one, I mean, I really was tuned into. It was really exciting. And I was very nervous for them because they actually pulled it off at the end. So much so, I'm like, is this staged? Because it looked like, I don't know, an Olympian challenge or an Olympic style win the way they won at the end. So I was very happy with the outcome. And I was glad to see the other people that were all now in peril of getting voted off. So it was a great challenge.
Reach. And going off of that, we go to the beach afterwards where they were all thinking, who is going home tonight? And the boat came and we all knew what was coming next. They had the journey and they had to decide with what was it, like rocks or something that they had to use to determine who goes? Well, whatever it was, they used
Um,
it. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. You were going to finish. Go ahead and finish.
So yeah, they decided with some sort of method who was going to the island, and Suri won. So she went off to the island, and she had to literally look through 2,000 coconuts to look for one coconut that has the phoenix on it. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack, but I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And I was happy
No.
for her because she literally gets to vote at tribal council. I thought she should have got something else, like maybe like another advantage or something like that, but this is just as good. I mean, something is better than nothing. Like it's better than losing a vote, you know? And She actually played a pivotal part in this vote.
Yes, I agree with you there. I'm glad she won too. I felt starting to feel sorry for her when she saw those coconuts, and she's not the most physically gifted person. So I was like, oh no, I felt bad for her. But she pulled it out, and I'm glad she did because not everybody pulls out the journey challenges. So I was glad to see that she did because, you know, she didn't need to like lose a vote or something like that. But glad to see she pulled it out. Um, yeah, I was glad for her.
Well, she needed this because if you saw what came next, everybody on the island is saying, "Oh, we should vote for Aubrey and Rick." Oh no, Coach and Christy, Aubrey and like you just have this back and forth between those two teams, and I'm just trying to understand like why are we saying Aubrey and Rick? Like that doesn't make any sense. You can literally get rid of Coach and Chrissy right now. They are part of like a four-ish person alliance, and they're the ones thinking that they're in control. So why would you not want to get rid of two people that nobody can stand? Like that to me was just like what are we doing? What are y'all doing?
I agree. That was pretty dumb. But we've seen this in the past where the groups get together and just pick out someone or kick off of people that are just like not, um, they're not a threat. And it's like, wait, you have plenty of time to kick off somebody like that because those type of people, you need their votes. So them trying to get rid of Rick and Aubrey was stupid. Now Rick, I can't understand Rick because Rick is he's deadly. He's someone you definitely need to look out for. Aubrey, I don't think she's too much of a threat. She tries to stay small. She tries to stay out of the way. That doesn't win Survivor for you when you're trying to stay small and out of the way. It doesn't bode well. So that little tactic that she's using is dumb. But Rick, he's one to definitely look out for. So I can see why they wanted to get rid of him, not her. So that kind of pushes them out of contention. Definitely want to get rid of Cooch and Chrissy because those two, they're like, not only
Ugh,
were they annoying, but they're very conniving, both of them. Because
very.
Chrissy, she was definitely somebody I would definitely want to get rid of.
Yeah, and with Aubrey, I feel like she's trying to play small because she doesn't have an idol anymore because they made her flesh it out. Because they were saying that they didn't like that she didn't use the idol, which I didn't understand that. Like she's not going to use the idol because like at the time it was her and Genevieve at tribal council. So why would you like use it? Like if Genevieve's shot in the dark would literally said safe on it, I'm pulling out my idol. Like I would not have blamed her. But it's like it wasn't safe, so I'm like, why am I going to waste it when I know literally all of these votes are going to be directed towards Genevieve? Like I'm not wasting my idol, especially on a season like this. And as for Rick Devens, you need to watch out for him, which actually leads me into tribal council, which was definitely a tribal council to remember because out of nowhere, that fake idol that he's had since the beginning, where he placed it after Savannah got sent home, actually was finally used, and I liked it. I love when shows like tie back to storylines. So I just loved it, like seeing him use that fake idol and then throw everything into chaos. Like everything was just thrown into pure chaos, and I loved it because everybody was saying, "Oh, we should go for Aubrey and Rick tonight for the blind side," and I'm like, "That's not how you do a blind side. Like, if you're going to do a blind side Survivor style, it literally has to be somebody like impactful. Like they don't see it coming. Like it's not a blind side if everybody sees it coming." And with that, thanks to Rick Devens' conniving schemes, Coach and Chrissy finally got sent home. I loved it. Oh, I love this. That was the best elimination of the season. I loved it. I just love seeing them get their karma, and they just were so mad, especially Coach. I love seeing him so angry and get sent off that island. That was for all the people he sent home for D, for everything. I just loved it.
Yes, that was a very pivotal moment when he did the fake idol. I loved it. I loved it because he's got a good poker face, and those people did not know that that wasn't real. And he just played it the whole way. He was very confident about it, and that was so funny because even because we know Christian knew about it, Christian had a good poker face too. He didn't let on that he knew that it wasn't real. He didn't say anything, and I like that. That's why I don't. I kind of like Rick because of what he did, because that was definitely he had a lot of courage to do that, to pull that out and say, I'm going to play it or I have it. And it just threw them all into a tizzy. And I think the main reason he did it was to get them because they don't know what to do because they're like drones. and someone has to tell them who to vote for. So once he throws that into the mix, they don't know what to do now. They have to think on their own. So that's what throws the game into chaos, which I loved.
Yep, me too. And it was so good to see them go home. And now it's kind of like a toss up because think about it. You have Rizzo, Sari, Ozzy. Who's the other one? Sari, Rizzo, Ozzy. Who's their fourth? I know there's a fourth.
Joe?
No, not him. Not him. Because he's with Jonathan and whoever's left. Stephanie. I know Stephanie. I don't know what she's doing. She's
Yes,
like
talking to me.
like 1 minute she's with Jonathan and Joe, and then the next minute she's with Ozzy, and
Yeah.
then she aligns herself with that alliance. Because I know it's Sari, Rizzo,
Ozzy.
Ozzy. Because I know there's a fourth. I know there's a fourth. I'm not saying
Aubrey?
Emily. It's not Aubrey. Maybe Tiffany. Maybe,
Right.
but they said
Because, yeah, I
Tiffany's.
think it's Tiffany. Because Tiffany,
Yeah, because yeah, with Tiffany, she was literally talking to Ozzy, and Ozzy was talking to her after he voted for her in that one tribal council. So it does make sense. It does. So I guess that's your four right there. So how many people did they have left? Like 11? Yeah, 11.
11. Yeah.
So yeah, you have Rizzo, Ozzy, Sari, and Tiffany. That's one alliance. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have Emily, Devins, and Christian.
Mm-hmm.
That's seven. And then you have Stephanie, Jonathan, Jonathan, and
Joe?
Joe. So that's 10. And then there's Aubrey. So she's like
Mm-hmm.
just on the outs. So
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting to see like what happens in this next episode. Like I actually want to see it, like how it's going to unfold. Is it going to be an all-out war? Are people going to align themselves with other alliances to get a certain person out? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep. I think so.
And with that, that does it on this edition of I'm Going to Tell You. I'm Donovan Worthy,
And I'm Gina.
and have a nice day.
Take care, guys.